Welcome back, day 14 of How to Fix the World in 80 Days. When you're done watching the video, feel free to leave me a comment. I'd love to know what you think about this issue, because today we're talking about the news. Is anyone else finding it hard to tell what is and what is not real news anymore? For every piece of good journalism, there's an equally awful piece of pure, total fiction. In a world full of fake news, how are we supposed to find the truth? To do that, let me first tell you what I think real news should look like. Real news has a few key ingredients. You want good information, credible sources, and a neutral or at least clearly stated opinion. Real news presents the facts and lets you make up your mind on what you think is right. Unfortunately, a lot of our news sources are not sticking to those principles. What we get now are people who use the news not to tell the truth, but to push their own opinion. It's more like propaganda. For example, let's look at the battle between Fox News and MSNBC. They often report on the exact same story, but come to completely different opinions and push a completely different message. Which one is telling the truth? I don't know. And yet, Fox News and MSNBC are both extremely profitable, which begs the question, what is the primary purpose of a news company? Is it to tell the truth? Or is it to make a shit ton of money? They cannot always be the same thing. Here's another interesting factor to that question. Did you know that most American news companies are owned by 6 major conglomerates, representing roughly 90% of the news industry? So much for free press. And I'm not saying this is happening, but what if just one of these companies decided to start selling fake news to make a few extra $100 million? Now, if each of these conglomerates owns hundreds of different stations, they could easily influence millions of people with fake news. That's a problem. The truth is, journalism is under attack, and it's been going on since way before the Trump factor. All around the world, over 259 journalists are being illegally detained simply for doing their jobs. In a world where I don't have access to information, how can I possibly protect myself against the negative effects of fake news? First of all, let me just start by saying that I love journalists. I think your job is so important, and for all of you out there grinding for the truth, I respect the hell out of you. Some of you have literally put yourselves and your freedom on the line to give us the information that we need to know. Without you, we'd all be lost. With that being said, some of you need to get back to basics, like facts. Too much of our news is opinion-based. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with an opinion show. I'm doing one right now, but this is not the news. Not yet, anyway. This is entertainment. Hopefully informative entertainment, but entertainment nonetheless. Opinion shows are not the news. It might seem trivial, but it's a very important distinction to make in the world that we live in. You want to see real journalism? Check out this guy. I saw a TED Talk on this undercover journalist from Ghana, and he is hardcore. He's taken down corrupt politicians, border agents, prison guards, sexually abusive doctors, and many, many more. That is real news. People like him are the real deal. If you want a short list with a few solutions, here's some for you. Read multiple news sources. I try to read 4 to 5 every day, just to make sure I get the whole story. Provide more people with internet access and free press, especially in the developing world. And stop declassifying documents, or at least stop redacting our Freedom of Information requests. If you feel like you need to hide it, maybe don't do it in the first place. But most important of all, when it comes to the news, we need to ask ourselves a very serious question. Do we even care about properly informing ourselves? And it might sound stupid, but I know people who genuinely don't care. And that's fine, it's their choice, but that really scares me. If you're not at least trying to inform yourselves, how do you know if someone's lying to you? Worst of all, how do you know that what you're saying is not based on fake news?